Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Mike's muted.
Slightly
Oh,
anticlimactic.
There
There
you
he
go.
is.
Oh, Craig found
You're
out you're
still
here.
muted.
Not now.
Hey. Hey, Craig. How are
Craig's the man.
you?
Don't know what happened there. That countdown went haywire. Oh well.
That happens.
Hey, Gil. How we going, mate?
There's Gil, Steven.
We're taking over.
Yeah. Yeah. I found out that you were here, Blake.
I'm sorry about that.
You got anything going on in the fish room?
I just set up some what are those things called? Hoplo cats. I'm gonna try and breed them. Decided. The male's blown a bubble nest there. I'm right there. The female's kind of chomping down on some food, so hopefully she gets fat enough to make some eggs, and we'll be happy.
Yeah.
What do those cost over there?
It's a good question. I got 6 for, I don't know, maybe $25, $30 each or something like that. So a pretty standard for most things over here, really, unless you get like neon tetras. Like most non big box store fish, they're going to be around about $20 each.
So I probably wouldn't even want to think of getting a zebra pleco in Australia.
Nah, I don't know what they. I think they're like 2,000 or something like that.
Cow.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I shouldn't say this, but I got a Fahaka puffer the other day, and that was 1.5.
Ooh.
But it was worth it.
So are they so expensive because of the import laws there?
Yeah. I think technically they're illegal to import, but not illegal to have. So I didn't ask any questions of how it got here.
Yeah. Probably for the better.
I'm sure it's homebred.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's homebred.
But you do notice things like that. Like things will come in waves. Like a few years ago, there was just no pea puffers ever, and then somebody, had a really uncomfortable flight, and then there was a few here, and then people started breeding them, and now you can get them. Like when I got my first ones, I think they were 250 each or something like that, 250 each, and now you can find them for $50 each, $60 each. So those ones at least are around to stay unless they get blacklisted.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the whole blacklist thing.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
always controversial, isn't it? Stephen P says he'd love puffers a lot less. I actually think I love them a lot more because you have to really think about it. Like I have to be really careful of everything that I put in with it. Whereas it's a lot less of a commodity when they're so hard to get. Like the last time I saw a Fahaki go up for sale was like 2 years ago or something like that. So, and when they come up for sale, they're gone like within an hour. So you kind of just have to have it ready. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife really
There are
likes to
rainbows.
cross
Rainbows for you guys.
Yeah, rainbows are a lot better for us. And actually in the saltwater side, corals are pretty cheap for us because a lot of them come from here. So, and Southeast Asia. So they're a lot, you just got to think like it's a lot easier to transport one from Australia to Australia than Australia to America or the UK.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm friends with a Bashir breeder in Australia, and there's like the platypus. I've got one of those I just got for it was like $30 or $40, and for they're like hundreds.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I've got 3 or 4 Senegals, and they were I got them very small, but they were I think 160
Hmm.
each. Ornates are really expensive, like talking about 300 to 500 each, depending on if you get a good deal or not.
That's for
And
a
then
baby.
yeah, for a baby, like just kind of losing their axolotl gills, whatever you call them.
Mm.
And then, well, here in Victoria, and the Endlicheri are what the other species that you can really only get in Australia is Endlicheri, but they're illegal here in Victoria, so I can't get them at all. But they're cheaper than ornates. They're like 300 or so in Queensland. You can sometimes get some of the other ones like too glassy, but it's that same kind of situation where it's up for an hour or two and you just got to snatch it.
Hmm.
Hey everyone.
Well, if you want a platinum Senegal, I know a guy.
There's probably only a few. I don't know what part of Australia he's in, but I could probably guess who it is.
Yeah, I think he's on the east side. So
Yeah. There's actually one really close to me, guy who has a really nice collection of Bashirs that wouldn't want to, be advertised anywhere. And yeah, he's a great breeder.
Yeah.
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 Kind of like Ghanaians here, we can get them, but you guys have a hard time getting them, don't you?
Yeah, I haven't really seen too many of those ever in person. Which is quite funny because our climate is very cool. So I'm sure that they wouldn't really survive over winter where I am. I could understand more in the sort of Northern Territory, Queensland area where things like jaguar cichlids have got out into the wild and are a problem. But here, they might get out for summer and then they'll probably just die off over winter.
No, I don't think so.
It gets pretty cold here, like down
Yeah.
to 0 Celsius, 1 degree Celsius, which is
Yeah.
what, 30?
I think Goodyears would probably do okay.
So, yeah, that's good.
They are.
They're
But then
more of a colder.
things like rice fish, I can outdoor all year, but they're not illegal. So that's kind of strange. I think like
Yeah.
surely they do pretty good in the waterway.
yeah, for me, we have freshwater stingrays are completely banned in my state, but there's no way that they could survive a winter here.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah. It's strange some of the rules that come out in these sorts of things. Like, I mean, I wouldn't volunteer for it, but you'd almost want like a committee of actual fish keepers to go through the list and kind of figure out what's good and what's not.
Yeah. I think some of
Sounds
it's
like
politically motivated.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, part of the problem with like wild collecting where I'm at is that the laws are very old and extremely vague. And like even like park rangers don't really have a full grasp of like a good interpretation to tell you of how can you collect. So like rainbow shiners in my area, they're me. However, they're a Georgia native fish, so it's technically you can't collect them. However, you can collect bait fish, and if it's like not a game fish and it's under 4 inches, it's like pretty much considered bait fish. So you could get that, but then you can't use a net. You have to use like a seine or something. But the
Or minnow trap.
or a minnow trap. Well, I don't think we can use minnow traps here.
I
So
think you can license.
it's extremely vague, and even like the authorities don't have like a proper like if you call them up and ask, they can't give you a straight answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things like we have restrictions on traps as well. We can only use like drop nets, which are like they lay flat, and then you have to like have some bait in there. Something will go over the top of it. You basically have to yank it up so that no bycatch gets in there really, and it gets stuck for weeks at a time. And
Ours
then
is, we have to have our name and phone number, and we
Yeah.
also have to check it. I think it's 4 times daily.
Yeah.
In case
Similar
any
thing.
turtles happen
Yeah.
to get in there.
Yeah. Which I actually don't mind that, but and then technically it's not legal in my state to take anything live from a waterway home. You can only transport dead fish.
Same here.
Yeah. Which is quite
Which
funny
doesn't-
when you think about taking anything home from a fish store, just because it's in a
Yeah.
plastic bag.
Yeah.
I guess you could just box it up like you got it at a fish store and nobody would even know. But anyway,
Loophole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Craig's comment is quite good there as well. Like the actual temperature difference probably is more so than the minimum. Like there's like a saying where I am in Melbourne. I'm like a bit below Melbourne, but the saying is like you get all types of weather every day. So, you could have like 25 degrees on Tuesday, which would be like, I don't know. I'm not good at conversions, but I think like low 70s Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And then it could be like 4 or 5 degrees the next day, which would be like 40. So you can have like crazy swings like that. Like you never pack away all your winter gear because you might just need it. You never pack away all your summer gear because you might just need it. So that would probably knock a lot of fish off their perch as well, I think.
Yeah. We've had snow in the middle of the summer here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
I,
don't know if
said last week, Jeff, you guys thaw out just in time to go back into winter.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but I feel like it's gotten in the last 4 or 5 years really unpredictable. Like I feel like
yeah.
winter
Oh,
is
yeah.
kind of stretching further into the months, and then summer is everything's being pushed back a couple of months. I feel like.
Yeah.
Here it seems like the summer months are getting shorter. It's getting a hell of a lot hotter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then the winters are warmer too. Not as much snow here.
I think we got snow in
got
April
this
one
year
time.
is the snow we got this year is probably the most we've had in probably 8 years.
Yeah.
And Pensacola Beach got snowed in this year. That was crazy to see because I usually go to like Pensacola, Destin, Florida area like once a year, and just seeing it like under snow, like my brain couldn't comprehend the snow on what's
On the
tip place I ever go. So I'm just like looking at snow on the beach, and I'm like, this doesn't work out.
Yeah, that is very strange, isn't it? Because usually it's too salty for snow near the coast, isn't it?
It's
Well,
weird.
it happened.
Yeah. Oh, I believe you. I just think I don't know if I've ever seen that, like even in
Yeah,
movies or anything.
yeah. It was just like a mix of climate, and like my brain just couldn't like really unfold that there's snow at the beach because every time I'm there, it's always like 90.
Yeah. Huh. There you go.
Definitely. It's changing too much.
Yeah.
Well,
We're hitting in all the heavy topics early in this one, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get political.
Economy, politics, climate.
Yeah.
Let's do religion next. No, I'm
Yeah.
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 I don't think some of us would know anything about it.
Backstage, you were talking a little bit about your 3D printing. You want to go on about that a bit?
Oh yeah. So I guess we were just talking about how a lot of people are incorporating it into the hobby now, and it's something I've been doing. I think I got into it right around 2020, so it would have been kind of a year or so into the hobby, I guess. And it's just so accessible. Like for very cheap, you can pick up a printer, spool of filament. You don't even have to be an expert on technology or anything like that. Like a lot of my a lot of my designing, I just do it on Tinkercad, which is just in browser, and that's mainly so that I can play around at work if I've got some free time, or then bring it back home and it's all just stuck in the browser. But even like a Fusion 360, you can learn it with a couple of videos and then design whatever you want. And
I wish it was that easy.
well, I guess maybe my background helps a little bit in that. Like, yeah. I'm a civil engineer, so I have learned a bit of CAD and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, it's a great.
Yeah, Tinkercad's simple, but playing with like programs like Fusion 360 and some of the other ones, that's been a struggle for me.
Yeah, it's funny. Like once you try and incorporate some other things other than like squares and rectangles, if you tried to do that in Tinkercad, it's actually harder than just doing it in Fusion, if that makes sense. Like at a certain level, it gets harder to keep using Tinkercad than it does to just learn Fusion.
I know, and it limits you so much.
Yeah, and I could see how people would get sort of stuck in Tinkercad because it is so easy. But yeah, if you want to do something else, then it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah, I've got a paid program that I'm working on, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. But I mean, it's there's no time limit on it, is it? So you can take as long as you like to figure it out. So that's good. And yeah, whether you have a Creality printer or one of these, like, it's funny, even like in the aquarium hobby, there's kind of elitists, like you got your rainbow gravel people over one side, and you got your like discus people on the other side or whatever. And there's judgment. It's like that with 3D printers too. Like you got the Bamboo Labs people who are just like skipping through the forest, like, oh, I'm having a great time with my printer. And then you got like the people that have like built their own machine from nuts and bolts that they found on the side of the road. Like,
the Prusa.
Those people, they have it way too easy.
The Prusa people.
I always think that's quite funny as well.
You see that in a lot of hobbies, fishing, dirt bikes.
Yeah. There's always somebody just wanting to suck the fun out of any hobby, isn't there?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Steven, you saying you've got rainbow gravel?
Yeah, I'm planning on setting up a rainbow sand tank.
Rainbow sand?
Yeah.
How would that even work? Wouldn't it all just turn sort of like brown if it was all different colors?
It's a little bit bigger grains than that. It's like a really fine gravel.
Yeah, okay. Well, I thought maybe you
SpongeBob decor in there.
You know how people used to have those decorative bottles with like a layer of different colors?
Yeah.
You could do that.
I got one.
If you put a Corey in there, though, it'd just whiz up into nothing.
Yeah. I think when I finally do that with the SpongeBob decor, it'll probably become my favorite scape.
Yeah.
In line. All the tanks how big a tank you gonna do, Jeff?
Currently I'm at 76 in the fish room. I need to get 340 breeders, 275s, and I think I'm gonna fit 6 5-gallons across the top of that.
You got to build another rack yet?
I gotta build another room. Yeah, I still have to build 2 racks yet. But I really need like another room or another building.
You just finished the fish room. Now you're going to build another room.
Well, he still needs to do an aisle in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually, I want this to be breeding only room, and then an external room more for sales and grow out type stuff.
I thought you were going to say a man cave.
That's already the fish room.
He's like the rest of us. He spends more time there than anywhere.
Yeah.
No, he spends more time at work than anywhere.
Currently, yeah. That'll be changing or probably starting this coming month. it'll slow down for me a bit. I'll be able to
It
start
should.
accomplishing things again.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
So, how long have you been running that many tanks for, Jeff? Like for me, I always
just-
think like, oh, I need more, and then I have that, and then I'm like, oh, I need to just get rid of half of these, and then I find that I'm never happy.
I just gutted this part of the house and started the remodel in August.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think October, November. I think October I had most of them up and running. But I used to run a fish store that had I think it was like 300 tanks at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So you're used to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on this never-ending journey to the perfect amount of tanks.
That's a difficult one because a lot of my tanks aren't like regular fish tanks. They're more of I put fish in, spawn them, and then I pull the adults out, grow it to fry.
Hmm.
So they're not like any form of a display tank.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you couldn't do that, I don't think, with display tanks.
That'd suck, yeah. Especially if they were all perfect aquascapes. That'd be so much time manicuring.
Oh,
That is not for me.
I did a tour once at a guy's house, and he actually had OCD, and he had, can't remember, it was about 20 tanks, beautiful aquascapes,
Oh, God,
CO2,
I don't think I
and
can handle that.
not a tiny little bit of algae, nothing. Like, it was just immaculate. And yeah, he was just finicky about every detail. And then, like, even when we're filming, he's like, oh, just give me a second, and he'd run off and he'd come back with a little, razor blade or whatever, and he'd be like, oh, I just saw a spot of algae on the glass.
Yeah, no, I try to grow algae on purpose, so
Yeah.
yeah.
I really struggle in some tanks. It's hard to get it to grow, but I try to scrape some off from one tank and throw it in the next tank to get it established.
Jeff wants the algae.
Yeah, it's the only way I was able to get whiptails to survive was having a coated tank and then feeding like 4 times a day.
Yeah, they're lazy, huh? They don't really move. Like,
They
they
don't
don't
move a whole
move
lot,
to
no.
eat.
They like to swim. Like if you give them some current, they'll sit there and wiggle, but they don't move from that spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mickey,
who's-
it was a really beautiful result, but I feel like it's just a constant state of stress. I don't know if I would have lasted too long.
Yeah, the only glass I try to keep clean is the front viewing glass. That way I see what's going on in the tank.
Yeah, that's the only
If I
panel
can
I
coat the
clean.
rest of it, I'd be happy.
It's the only panel I clean's the front one.
Yeah, same. Even then, I barely clean. Like, I'll clean myself just a little window to look through. I don't really mind it if it goes all the way to the edge.
Yeah.
But you still got that big tank too, don't you?
Yeah,
Mike?
yeah, it's right behind there, the big 8 foot. Yeah.
Oof.
I'd like to have had an 8-footer.
You've had that, what, like 2 years now?
Yeah, something like that. It's kind of annoying, to be honest, because I'd really love it to be behind me, but it's like such a big operation to move it, especially now that it's full. And I've often thought of like, oh, do I get like some sort of jack and like jack it up, or hire some like little mini forklift and try and do it? And I'm just like, nah, just leave it there.
Or do
'Cause
like Alex and build your stand with wheels on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would have been smart. But the story, I don't know if somebody hasn't heard the story, I'll run through it just quickly. Yeah, my friend, his brother's a builder, and he was demolishing this big, the internals of this big house mansion, and they had an 8-foot saltwater tank built into the wall, and they said, "Oh, we don't want that. Just smash it up with a hammer." And he just said, "Oh." He just called me because he knew that I was into fish, and he's like, "If you can come here in the morning with the trailer, I'll get some of the boys to lift it on, and then you can just have it." So yeah, I was making calls all night trying to find a trailer, put it on, 8-foot tank, 5-foot sump, and then I like had to quickly buy some timber, make a stand, and then get it all. And also, it was raining that afternoon, so I was like, "Oh, the tank's filling up with water this whole time." So it was a definite rush job, but
Oof.
yeah.
That's a hell of a deal, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
turning that down.
Yeah, pumps and everything too.
Yeah, but I didn't end up using them. I don't think I put all new plumbing because it was saltwater. It had like barnacles and crusty stuff
Oh,
on it, so
yeah.
I didn't really trust it all. So I just got all new plumbing for it myself. Yeah.
Be the way to go.
Yeah, it took
Can't
a bit
be-
of cleaning up actually, but that was all right. Small price to pay.
What he needs is that tank like Jeremy has, at 4,400 gallons. It's 32 feet long.
Oh, geez, that just makes me nervous, to be honest. Like even the 8-foot, I didn't fill it up all the way. No, actually, I had to have. I didn't want to fill it up all the way because it just makes me nervous. Like whenever you get the biggest tank, I've just always filled it up like 2/3 of the way and just like wait for something to go wrong.
I've got a 125 6-footer that was used. Sat outside over winter. I had a certain place to build it. That's the worst that can happen.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
A lot.
I'm in the shed, I guess. So
Grab
I have
double
had
towels.
I have had a 4x3x2 spring a leak. The side silicon just popped off, so that
Yeah.
went everywhere. But I'm in the shed. It's concrete floor, so
Yeah, Jeremy's plywood tank,
yeah, plywood would be all right. Yeah.
aquarium domain. I still couldn't imagine a tank that big. Oh my god. Whoa.
That tank is
Mm.
built better than most
One day.
houses, so
Yeah. Talk about overbuilt.
If I get to expand and get a separate room for display and stuff, I'll have a plywood tank in it for sure.
Well, you need
The
to do
other-
like he's doing with that new expansion he's doing.
The other thing I think about tanks that big though is like even with the 8-foot, I've got some red-breasted acaras in there, and I'd really like to get them out, but I'm just never going to be able to catch them. So, imagine putting some kind of fish like in a 32-foot tank. I really wish that
it's
I
permanent.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you put it in there by mistake, the only way you're getting it out is draining that tank.
Oh yeah.
you gotta get
That's
the
a lot of
swimsuit
water.
on and jump in.
Yeah,
Jump
Stephen,
into the
imagine the
tank.
plant farm you could have with that.
How's your plant farm going there, Stephen P? I think you have some more eligible people.
Yeah, but Steven wants a 30-foot tank that's only like 10 inches tall.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Big as
10-foot
CPD
tanks
farm,
are
too.
a lot. Yeah. How many CPDs is in there? I don't know, a couple thousand.
That would be cool.
I saw a question from Craig about any new fish. I also got some new. We had a talk at the fish club on last week about West Africans, and I got some. I don't even remember what they're called actually. Yeah, I've got the bag down here. Some Ugali Nigerian dwarf cichlids. So I got some of those from a guy who's breeding them. So I'm pretty stoked about that. They're pretty cool. F1s. I got them for
Nice.
$20. So I was very happy with that at auction.
That makes me
Sounds like
very
about
Would
what
you,
they
Mission?
cost here.
Roughly.
I just got some a new West African. It's the Mocha Limbembe Baishu. That one's
Nice.
pretty hard to come by.
Is that the
Mine
smaller
hadn't
one?
come in yet.
Yeah, it's the smallest species.
Yeah, I like to work with
I-
that one.
Mine's ordered. It just hadn't come in yet.
Yeah,
Would you order yours?
they're
from?
real cool because a
My-
lot of the
my
bigger
local
ones
fish
have the
store.
stripes.
My local fish store can get them. He ordered it. It just hadn't come in yet.
So they have a stripe pattern, do they?
Yeah, they don't get big, but they're similar in pattern to like an Enley. So if you don't
Yeah,
want to
nice.
have like a giant tank, if you only have like a 55 or 75 or something like that, you can get some of those patterns that you see on the bigger ones, but it's not gonna bust your tank eventually.
Yeah, that's perfect. That is true. A lot of the smaller ones are just grey or brown, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I won't.
I'm like-
I won't do too much research into them because I'll never be able to get them.
Be the
You'd be
first
able to get
Baisher
'em.
I've had.
Yeah, I could get them, but not ever show them. Yeah.
It'd be like $2,000 a piece.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe not. It might be more than that there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
probably.
What do they cost there?
About 100, 150.
That's pretty
That might
good.
be accurate then. So did you order 6 of them, Alex? So you get a nice little breeding group going?
So the store that had them had 3, and they sold the we lost Mike. They had 3, and there was 2 females and a male. And when I got there, because they posted on their Facebook, by the time I got there, someone bought one, and they bought the only male.
Oh, really?
And I was like, "You're kidding me?" Because if they had the male and 2 females, I would have bought all 3
Yeah.
because I would make more. But they only
Why
had
didn't you
the
just
2 females.
pre-buy them?
So what?
Why didn't you pre-buy them?
No, that store doesn't. They don't operate like that. They might hold if I ask.
Yeah, you need better rapport with them.
They're brand new. The store's like 5 months old.
Yeah, mine got them ordered. They just haven't come in yet. They're supposed to be in either on this next shipment or the one after. So we'll see.
Yeah. So how's the marathon stuff going for you? What made you go down that path?
Well, I was going. I don't know really. I actually always hated running, like when I was a kid and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I kind of dropped a bunch of weight and stuff like that, and then it just started to feel pretty good. And then my brother, he's done this kind of trail marathon a few times, and he was in pretty similar condition to me, and he said, "Oh, come and do it." And I really didn't want to, but anyway, we both signed up for it. So I was like, well, I might as well train for it. So I signed up for a few things, in the lead up, like a 10K, 2 half marathons, and then the trail. And then I've got a road marathon after that as well. But yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm kind of doing 3 or 4 runs a week and about 40 Ks, which is, I'm really bad at converting miles to kilometers. I think it's like probably be 30 miles or something like that a week.
That's not
No,
bad.
it'd be less than that. It'd be 24 or 25 miles a week.
You can just get your son to run with you.
Yeah, so every Saturday we do this. It's I think it originated in the UK, but it's called Park Run. It's just a 5K, and I do that with them. So the 3 kids and my wife and I, we do that, and we're not going for speed, put it that way, but they quite enjoy getting out.
Yeah, it does them good to get outdoors.
Yeah, 100%. And it's
Even-
only like they're right into other sports as well, soccer, basketball, and all that sort of stuff. So it'll only help with that as well.
Yeah. Keep them in shape.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I just like it, to be honest. I think I'm just addicted to the endorphins and stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find the time to squeeze it in.
Yeah, and the older you get, the harder it
Harder.
becomes to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
when
I'm
you get to be
definitely not
that age.
I'm not built for speed, but I just kind of keep going. Like I'm a bit of the Forrest Gump, you know. I just felt like running. That's me.
Yeah.
This felt like running. I didn't
Yeah,
want
it's
to run
definitely a
no
good way to
more.
describe it.
Yeah. That's like over here. We used to have a track team, but nobody goes out for track anymore, so they've done away with that.
Really? The other day
Yeah,
I was looking up backyard ultras because I was thinking I might do that. Maybe next year, which is what is it? It's every hour you go out and you run 6Ks or 4 miles, and you just have to keep going every hour until last man standing.
yeah.
I agree, Gil.
Well, that's what got me into trouble in the first place.
Yeah, our high school over here, they don't even have a track team anymore because nobody goes out for track.
Yeah, wow.
They barely have a football team.
That's pretty sad. Probably have a pretty good esports team though.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty sad.
It is true though. Like my oldest, he really loves Fortnite and all that, and he's just playing it all the time. But then I think that just becomes kind of a habit. And then we went on a bike ride the other day, and he's like, "Oh, do you know what? I wouldn't mind going fishing." And then it's like, "All right, well, we'll go and get the rods out and we'll go fishing." And we caught 2 or 3 different things, and he's like, "Oh," the next day he's like, "Oh, let's go fishing again." And then he's kind of driving it. So I don't know. I think it's just the easy habit thing to do. If you're always saying like, "Nah, we can't do that. Nah, we can't do that," then if they come up with an idea and then you just drop everything and do it, then it's a lot
Yeah.
easier maybe.
They're more likely to do it.
And of course, I'm never going to say no to going fishing.
Oh, no.
I used
Right.
to go fishing like every single day before I had kids.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Kane down there has his stream, The Shark Show, and sometimes he's out on the lake in a kayak.
Well, a big reason that I got aquariums is because I couldn't go out fishing anymore, so I brought the fish to me.
Yeah. Well, if we all go to Jeremy's, we could go fishing in that 4400.
Yeah. No, I grew up fishing, and when the kids were growing up, they grew up fishing. So we upgraded the boat slowly. As the kids grew up and moved out, then we downgraded to a canoe. Last one moved out, we were upgrading to kayaks, so that way we could each have our own little personal bass boats. It's been really nice. Also a good way to get out and exercise a little bit.
Skeptical had a question for you there, Blake.
Yeah. When did I get my chilies? Maybe 2 years ago. It all kind of blurs into one, but yeah, about 2 years. I wouldn't say much effort. Like I've put one of those passive breeding traps in there. I've tried the actual active one that I have as well. But from what I understand is you just have to kind of see the eggs and immediately take them out. I've tried doing like 50% RO water changes and stuff, but like I wouldn't say that I've really concentrated on it every day for a few months or anything like that.
Yeah. I watched a gentleman that specializes in rasbora and tetras, and some of his rasboras he actually spawns in pure RO. So
Pure RO.
yeah, He didn't really specify which ones they were, but he did say that some of his tetras and reservoirs he did have to spawn in pure RO.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably say if I really wanted to do it, then I'd probably do something like that, like a lot of RO in there, and then kind of just take all the fish out and move them to another tank, and hopefully there's some eggs behind. Probably the way I'd do it.
Are you still breeding the white clouds?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you know how I jumped in here an hour early, and in between I did a update video on that because one of my white clouds tanks, the fry stopped appearing, and couldn't figure out why. But it turned out there was just a baby gold laser Cory in there, so it must have come in on the moss or something like that. And then, for the first few months, it was too small to eat the eggs, but now it was eating the eggs. So I found it like at night with the lights off.
He's got a buffet.
Right?
Yeah.
Good.
Sneaky little fella.
He was wanting to know if you'd seen eggs ever, though.
Nah. My eyes aren't very good. To be honest, I don't know if I would see them.
So, are you doing a mesh on it to keep them from getting to the eggs, or no?
Yeah, just the same as those boxes that I sent you. Like it's just
Okay.
a box with the mesh cover and then moss on the
Okay.
top. Yeah, but yeah, I haven't done it. No.
Okay.
I love the fish, but yeah, I don't know. I actually had someone ask to buy them the other day, and I was thinking about it. I don't know. I don't like leaving a project incomplete though.
Yeah.
So torn.
A hawk is buffed up during the water change.
Jeez, that would be freaky.
Yeah.
I
think
would be absolutely panicking if that was me.
Yeah.
I
On
think
that
as
something
long as
Cory-
they're puffed up and they're in the water, it's okay.
Yeah, because I was saying, wasn't Cory worried about Murphy puffing up on him when they were going to move him?
When they get them
Yeah.
out of the water, yeah.
Because it's the air that'll hurt them.
That would kind of freak you out.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna print a little net for moving pea puffers around.
Oh yeah, that's a good call.
Mr. Handyman Jeff.
You're gonna see a new listing on Blake's website tomorrow. Pea puffer net.
Yeah, that's fine. It's something that's needed.
Well, when
I think there is one available though. I think there's one.
When I
right there
moved
bottom.
mine, I just netted them with a normal net and then just put like a measuring cup underneath,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then just did it like that.
yeah. The space I got them in is pretty tight, so it's hard to get anything up in there.
And shrimp net's too small.
Yeah. Well, it's not too small. It's it lets all the water out. So when I hop them from tank to tank, I have to get up in there with like a little food cup or something, like a little jelly dish.
Yeah.
I think isn't that like one of the more like better practices to do anyway with all fish, is to try to move
Yeah,
them.
realistically it is.
Yeah, to like never actually take them out of the water.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was like an ACO member stream or what kind of talk it was, but it was like a fish vet talking about illnesses.
Yeah.
And
I
it's like
remember
90% more likely to get sick if it's taken out of water even for 5 seconds or something.
Yeah. It also beats up their slime coat pretty bad, and then they can get an infection in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a small shrimp-like net that has just a shallow little clear plastic tray on it. I don't remember who had them. Maybe it was Motor City Aquatics or something like that for a little while before he quit doing stuff. I'm sure that there's something available out there, but I've got the printer, so why not?
Yeah, that's what's so nice about it. If I ever want like a plant basket,
Mm.
like I pick up some new plants because like Home Depot is having a sale right now. You know, if I grab some plants, I could just throw something on the printer. Like, yeah, I could order something, but it's nice to just say, oh, you know what? It's 10 o'clock at night. I don't want to go anywhere. I can just print this, and it's there in the morning.
Yeah.
Definitely. And there's so many designs available on the internet as well. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
think up anything for anything, like organizers for desks or holders for this and that. It's like just so convenient.
There's definitely a lot of stuff available out there. Each one's got its own little caveat to whether or not you can sell it, or how you can sell it, or
Mm-hmm.
if you can give it away, or if you can't give it away.
But for personal use stuff, like, so
Yeah, for personal use stuff, there's a lot of it out there.
you could think of like the most obscure thing ever, like, you know, I can't even think of anything, like a spoiler for a little Matchbox car or something, and somebody
Yeah.
somewhere will have designed it, and it will be there.
Yeah.
June's wanting you to invent plant holders for acrylic tanks.
Yeah, I'm sure it already exists. Probably something with a magnet
Yeah.
or suction cup even.
I used to print a few of those and sell them on Etsy, but it was so irregular that I took them off just because,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just
I
need a
like to
white
just-
lid.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly like that.
Yeah. I'm really lazy. I'm supposed to send this to Jorge like months ago. I totally forgot.
I don't know who he's talking to there about his 3D print design request.
Me either.
He's looking for some like kind of like plant weight type things for doing substrate free bottoms, or probably like even with breeders where we have to pull all of our plants out of the tank, something that's easy to remove plants and hold plants down.
Don't people just use terracotta pots and like actual soil in it?
Yeah, for better water
gravel,
flow
yeah.
the soil.
Yeah, I just use dollar store bowls and gravel.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff that I'm working on.
Pull the whole thing out and sit it in a bucket of water.
I
It
totally
isn't-
get the concept. It's just like reinventing the wheel, though. Like there's already an easy way to do it.
And it's a good
Yeah.
point though with 3D printing. Like it's not suitable for everything. Like I've had a few requests for like design a lid for this tank and all that. I'm like, well, that's not really. I mean, I could, but big flat things or things like that, when you can already get cheap alternatives, it's
Yeah,
kind of a pointless thing.
sometimes it's better just to use it for the like the original design, and then have something else molded from it,
Mm-hmm.
like a proof of concept type thing.
Yeah, definitely. Or you could print like a segment to make sure the dimensions are right or something like that. But yeah. Sometimes there's just
Measurements
better
is
things already out there.
measurements is something that I've been struggling with.
Yeah.
Nope, Brian's here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just seen him.
There's a lot
We
here
do
now.
like Corey making them rails,
Yeah,
sliding double
but-
rails.
Something I did have a problem with was terracotta pots. When you put them on the sand, they get a black fungal growth in them, and it becomes problematic down the road.
Yeah, I've seen that
like
before,
filter
and I
fish.
think it's like some brands. There's like a mineral that they put in it, but it's not all of them.
Yeah, that's enough of them that I won't buy them anymore.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been
those rails are
3D
nice too.
printing
I have them.
I've been 3D printing all my like ram dishes and stuff now.
Mm.
Pleco caves.
Yeah, like okays. Stacker for the red lizard whiptails. I got in the works.
I got
Tommy.
those rails, and then I'm immediately replacing them with I think it's JMC from the forums, right? He sent me like custom links, So he sent me rails with risers for my light.
Okay.
So I have rails for there's 4 20-gallon tanks. So it's a weird setup. 4 20-gallon tanks, and all 4 of them have rails for the lids on the top. I just don't have the lids on yet. It's work in progress. But the very outside ones have I made one set of rails that have the riser, and I split it to be the far 2 tanks because I have a 4-foot light. So it's one 4-foot light and then like a riser set split like 4 feet across.
Hmm.
So I have the one light covering all 4 tanks, but then they all have their own individual sliding lid.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
You
And it's
guys
one
are
of those
Yeah.
things you can't find that at like Petco. You can't get that at a store.
Yeah, definitely.
As long as it works.
I designed all my risers into my stands, so my stand just holds the light.
Yeah, your stands are done though, aren't they, Jeff?
Almost all of them are, yeah. I still got to build the facing on them, because it'll have a plywood flip up, probably split in half, so it's half and half.
Yeah.
But that stuff's not going to happen until the vast majority of the rest of the house remodel's done. I want to get the center row of racks built, and after that, I'm going to get back on to remodeling the rest of the house.
Raising the light, I think, cuts down on some of the intensity of it.
It gives
Some
you a
of
better
it too
spread
is
too.
the direction of
Better.
the light spread.
Yeah, better spread too.
Yeah.
You get that Kessel shimmer a lot, and when you have LEDs that are like at least 12 inches above the tank.
And access into the tank, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
less.
Less having to move the light by around.
Hmm. I mean, depends on the light, obviously, but sometimes I like to just have it directly on the top because then there's less glare. I don't know,
Yeah.
just kind of all the lights in the tank. It's easier to see in, but personal preference, really.
Yeah, with the openness though, eventually there'll be like I said, a flip down, and then it cuts down on
Yeah.
the glare for me. But I
Yeah,
also
you
use
don't really have a
1 foot
lot.
light.
You don't really have a lot of glare on yours.
Not too bad, no. Most of like the stuff that's up high, I'll probably have to take you off.
Mm-hmm.
You're ready to
I
get
have
seasick.
I have them angled backward, so that way it doesn't shine out into the room.
Right.
So that helps it quite a bit.
It's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, I got that same problem, especially when you're sitting in a chair in the fish room when you're looking over at your stands, and it's just those lights are just like big hindrance.
Did you get
I
your
actually have a
stand
bigger
done,
problem
Alex?
with the ceiling lights glaring
Yeah.
in my face.
Yeah.
Are you talking about for the 120 or for the 90p? The cabinet?
90p. The cabinet.
Yeah, I've been working on that one. It's pretty nice. I'm stealing some ideas I saw over at Mitchell Broom's house, where his display tanks he used the what is it called, the extruded aluminum. He used 2020 extruded aluminum for his light stands, and they're
Mhm.
pretty much just like bolted to the back of the his stands, and they hang over. And the way that they looked with his lighting setup, it clean, and I really was impressed. So I want to try to do that on my 90p because it's a little bit of a smaller tank, so I can kind of afford to like do some of those like nicer upgrades to it without having to spend a
Right.
whole bunch. So I think I'm gonna try to like get a really good light on there, have this like nice 2020 extruded aluminum like hanger system. I've been thinking about what finish I want on the outside. I might paint it, I might stain it, but I was thinking I was gonna paint it.
Aluminum?
I've got soft
Yeah.
close hinge thing.
Do iodized.
Brian, that was I think UK aquarium guy or something like that was doing that new Aqua Sky.
I'll tell you, I have the old Aqua Skies, and they are terrible. Out of the 4 I bought, the 2.0 Aqua Skies, only one works, and it doesn't turn on and off anymore. I have to use a Wi-Fi timer to just turn it on like a shop light.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
They
guess
all
they-
failed after like 2 years.
They've redone the whole program and everything now. You got more control.
I hope
over
so.
New, they improved the connectivity of them, a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
He was going over
That's-
all that.
I still like the Glorium more. It's I
Well,
think a better bang for your buck.
I might have to reach out to them, test it out, because the old ones I have, for one, they're all broken, so I need to replace them. But I need something that's
I
better, and I don't
I
want
like
them
the
to send
Wi-Fi
me junk.
ability. And then, well, so you don't have to use it. You can set it up like a coop light where you pick your intensity and run it off a timer,
Mm-hmm.
or you can run it off the Wi-Fi and set your spectrum. And you can also monitor your tank temperature remotely. And I like that aspect of it. That and it's a lot cheaper than a damn Blue Bowl.
That's just too high tech for me.
Yeah. I like that side of it.
Give me a shop light or a spotlight, and I'm happy.
So
I don't like them.
I had 4 of the 4-foot Aqua Skies, and I think the only one that is working now is the one that fell in a tank.
That's
Surprisingly.
probably why it's working.
Drop the others in.
Right?
Yeah, drop
think
the other
most-
ones in, see if they'll come on.
Most of my 3.0s have been out of water.
The light's just thirsty. So
Yeah,
Need
Cold
some
solder
hydration.
joint. Cold solder joint, the water disconnects them.
Then we put it in my reflow.
Sure, why not?
You could probably get inside that thing and fix it.
Problem.
Then I'd have to know about electronics, and
Yeah. Disappointing,
just-
Alex.
Just start poking things together with wires and see what happens.
Fix it and make it better.
Can always improve it.
Hey, Stan.
So, are the flu balls available in Australia?
yeah, I've got a 3.0 up there, but same story as everything, like super expensive kind of.
Yeah.
Actually, it's pretty expensive over there too, so maybe not. Maybe a similar price.
They've gone up a lot. My original Fluval 3.0s were a lot less than the last batches of them I bought.
Hmm.
You got any of the coupe lights, Jeff?
No. I can't stand the color.
I didn't either. It's too yellow.
It's like my shop lights, they're too yellow too. I don't like them. They gotta get replaced.
so that's what
That's
I've been
not what-
having on my big tank for like a year. The past year or two was the coupe lights, and in person they look fine to me, but on camera they're way
Yeah.
too yellow. And if you
E-
try to
even,
adjust like color temperature, then your skin tones just look way out. So I like the light. The performance was fine for me. It grew plants, but
Yeah.
I just
The structure of
know.
it looks good too. It's just the color scheme of it. I don't like it.
It had a
If-
good spread.
if it had a way to adjust color temperature, even if it was just a little bit, I don't care about like RGB
And-
lights and having a blue night mode, and I don't care about
like-
any of that. Just let
I
me
like having the
adjust the
RGBs.
color temp just a little.
Yeah. I like the RGBs.
Oh, you couldn't do that?
The white. Just the
I
intensity.
never looked into them that much because,
Yeah.
obviously I couldn't get them. So
But
I'm surprised
the-
though that
Yeah, the expense for what it is, I couldn't justify it.
Mhm. They're one color temperature, and then there's a blue, which I always just thought is gimmicky anyway. And the controller is wired in line on the power
Right.
cable, and you can adjust the power in increments of 10%. And then the idea is that if you wanted to, you can plug it in line to a Wi-Fi timer. So if you wanted it to be scheduled, you could do it that way. But otherwise, you can't adjust the color temperature.
Yeah, okay. Because I always thought the idea was to have it like a community kind of put together the best settings for it, and then everyone use that settings.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's still
I think
situational
that
from
was the
tank to tank.
idea.
Yeah, right.
There's
Well, I
too many
think they were trying to
variables.
say like, if I have a 20-gallon tank and 3 inches of substrate, and I have, a bunch of crypts on the bottom,
And
I run
and
my
are you
light
making it?
at
Are
30%,
you
and then someone else
making your
can say,
water
"Oh,
out of RO, or are you using tap? Because
yeah."
everybody's tap water is
Obviously,
different.
there's going to be factors and variants, but it was probably, dealing with beginners here. They're trying to get
Hmm.
like a ballpark of like, oh, 100 was too bright for my Anubius. Maybe I should only use 10.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that like even I use just kind of like shop lights, panel lights here, and even they have like a 3 different color temperatures you can switch it
Yeah.
to, and
That'd be
3 different
nice.
intensities you can switch it to. Like,
I have either a 5K or a 6K, and it's not where I want it for the shop lights. But that's all that was available, so I got stuck with.
hey Zen, long time no see.
I'm looking at those 3.0 Aqua Skies, and they're RGB now.
Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted.
Yeah, they done a bunch of improvements to them too. The heat sinks aren't as tall.
Yeah.
Improved the slide out rails.
That was funny. I just had to laugh at Steven's comment there.
Right.
Community-based light settings are the best. Sincerely, Algae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love that.
We all know how much Stephen likes the algae.
I might have to try out some of these lights. I'm not going to say they're bad until I at least get it and use it.
Yeah.
How
Well, it
much?
depends on what your goals are. I mean,
Yeah.
shop lights are perfectly fine for the vast majority of people. I don't like the
Yeah.
lack of a ramp up. I like the slow ramp up, the slow ramp down. I'm not ready to build my own dimmer. So, yeah.
The best light I've ever used is right that one right there. It's actually a brand nobody ever has heard of, and it's Weak Aqua. And I just got it randomly off Gumtree, which is like Craigslist, and it's just the best thing ever. It grows
I've heard of
plants
them from
super
somewhere.
well. Yeah. It's really nice on the eye, and it's never given me any dramas at all.
Yeah. That's the thing though, is most lights will grow plants. It depends on the level you want to grow them at. If you want to throw CO2 at them and a whole bunch of verts, you need a more powerful light. If you just want to make the light or the tank bright so you can see it, it doesn't really matter. And then it's kind of the taste.
Yeah, and I've tried lights from like Chihiros. I've got a light over there that was like $900, but I'm borrowing that. I didn't pay for that. And I just think like a lot of the time, a panel light from the hardware store does a fine job enough for me for what I want to do, which mainly I just like growing needle leaf Java ferns. So that's what
as long
I'm
as you can
right
match the
into
color
at the moment.
temperature you want.
Yeah.
My problem lately with the shop lights has been I can't get the color temperature I want locally. And I also don't like the fact that I can't currently do the slow ramp up, slow ramp down over a few hours.
You can do that through a dimmer switch.
Yes, but I have to sit there and manually do it because I haven't been able to find a digital one.
I'll talk to you after this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, those lights are on Amazon. Weak Aquas.
They're really good. I like them.
are they reasonable?
No, but
Are they
Or
reasonable?
are they
No.
like
It's not
those
reasonable.
ones that you was talking about that one night where you can build them yourself?
oh no, those things are crazy.
The modular ones?
Uh,
We had a company a few years ago. It was called Make My LED, and it used to be like that. Like you kind of choose what you want in it, and they send it out to you. And I really loved those, but about the same time they all died on me, the company disappeared. So I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah. Well, that one is all in metrics, so you'd have to tell us what it is. You can get it. Well, the one for $129 is 446 by 100 by 18.
With the size of the light,
Yeah.
Whatever,
Whatever.
446
Whatever.
millimeters.
Millimeters. Yeah.
Yeah, 50 centimeters or 20 inches, something like that.
Yeah. And that light's $130 for a.
And they connect together too, so you can use like 3 or 4 of those together as one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those. What was that? Aquarium Co-op had a store tour. It was somewhere in Europe. I think it might have been when he was doing that Germany tour, and it was the place where they had like all marble or granite shelving.
yeah, the guy
Like-
built all that stuff himself.
Yeah,
Had his own brand of food and built all the tanks.
it was
Yeah,
beautiful.
I know what one
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, he had those lights there.
Yeah.
He had like what Jeff was talking about, those covers that go over the front of your tanks there. He had carbon fiber ones that he custom made.
Yeah,
It was so over the top. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's like marble and carbon fiber.
That's a better way of doing it, but I like the look of the wood.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It brings a little bit of the outdoors inside. But yeah, I know what store you're talking about. That was a really cool store.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
was
they
in
were.
the middle of nowhere.
They were drilling that customer's tank and loading it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
Corey
know.
was walking through there and he's like, they're actually drilling a tank on site.
I started to make those covers just with block-out curtains, but I probably wouldn't recommend it because it's just kind of really annoying to flip them up whenever you need to get in under the tanks.
I had them on my my original setup that I had out in the living room and the kitchen area. I didn't mind it so bad. It actually was helpful because the TV was nearby, so it cut down on a lot of the glare into the room.
I think if I had my time again, I'd just get very thin plywood, paint it black, and then just hang it on a hook, and that way I could actually just take it off if I needed to do a big rescape or something.
Magnetic or anything like that too.
Yeah, something like
I would
that.
really want like pneumatic pistons on the side to hold it up and down, but that's like over the top.
We got to hold
sheet steel.
Jeff, you're going to be held to a different standard. It needs to be like a roll top desk where it just rolls up in there and then you can control it.
That's doable. I could probably build a track system. But for Alex, what we're gonna build it out of is 2x6s. You know, not like this, but like that. And it's gonna be at least 2 foot tall. So that way, when he lets go of it and it hits him in the back of the head, it knocks him out.
Just print your tracks out, Jeff.
Yeah. That's doable too, I suppose. Yeah, it's not that hard to zip cut some plywood and make it so it's still one piece and it still, kind of does whatever you need it to do. I'd need to get a table saw first, though, because I'm not doing that with that goofy clamp thing I got. It's not accurate enough. Hey,
Right.
fence pickets. I'm
Mhm.
struggling to picture how that would work, unless there's like only that much gap in you.
Take them
Between
off
them.
when I'm working on the tanks.
Might be horizontal fence picket.
It's
Yeah,
just
they also might not be used in a picket form though. Could have
it's just a
some-
1x6. It's just a 1x6.
Yeah.
I think it was Palmer Aquatics did something like that. He had just pins. He just popped them on, popped them off.
I don't know if I remember Palmer.
Yeah,
He's got a
part of
whole
that.
3D printing channel now. I don't
He's
know if
got
you've
a
seen
whole
that.
50 channels.
Yeah. I was looking up something about my 3D printer the other day, and I just saw him there. Like, oh, what are you doing? You're all over the internet.
Yeah, he's a character. I'd love to talk to him. He has
Chris.
I found him on so many different times
Wait.
where I've Googled something, had YouTube search results. It could have been even something for like a car.
Yeah.
And
Kid's
I
got
end
a
up
lot of
going to like
channels.
I
Yeah.
go to a random YouTube channel and I'm listening. I'm like, this guy sounds familiar. And then his face pops up. I'm like, oh, it's Palmer. He's got
Yeah.
it's like 50 different channels and they all 5 to 100K subscribers each. You know, and he's getting
How do
ad
you have
revenue on
time?
all these. He's
How in the
got
world do you have
a
time?
plant channel, his aquarium channel, a car channel, a tech channel, his 3D printing one. Then he's got like a software review channel. It's wild. That guy gets around.
He's part of that BRS Fresh channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RS
Yes.
Fresh.
I don't know how the guy has time to do anything.
Mm.
Well, if he just stopped working today, he has all that ad revenue to lean back on.
Right. Well, last I know of, he only had 2 channels. He had Palmer Aquatics and more Palmer Aquatics.
He's got a ton.
He posted on Facebook the other day that he gets like 1 million views a month or something.
Well, all them
Across
channels
his-
combined,
across
I
all-
imagine.
His channels, yeah.
I'd believe
Across
it.
them
And I
all.
mean, his SEO is really good too because,
Mm.
like I
beat
said,
Zen.
I find him accidentally all the time.
Hmm.
I look for things like something I'm actually legitimately like a home use something where I like, oh, I need to go do this, and we look it up on Google, and I get like a YouTube Google result, and it pops up and it's him.
Yeah. And his voice is so distinct that you know
Yeah.
it every single time.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's Palmer. That's weird because I
That's
grew
Chris.
up watching him with like his Oscars.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess the difference is that when you look up something, you move on. But he probably looks up something and thinks, "Oh, I'll make a video out of that," and then makes a video, and then keep doing that
Good night,
a
Joe.
million times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Jody.
See you, Jody.
That reminds me of, you guys ever watch The Fish Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes the acrylic stuff, right?
Yeah, but he takes everything that we do. He's like, hey, I can make a video. Because he was doing a culture jar, so he made a stand so he could film the culture jar. So he made a video of how to make the stand.
Yeah, he sets his phone on top of it.
Yeah. Everything he does, he makes a video, and I'm just like,
Yeah. I watched
And
that.
Yeah,
somebody
I-
that wants to do YouTube for a career, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like Fishman a lot. I've spoken to him a lot over the years. Yeah, and now he's got his own YouTube channel on just Fishman Makes or something like that. Like,
He
Ooh, I
comes
need to
up with some
subscribe to that one.
crazy ideas.
yeah.
Some of them filter designs he's come up with, you're like, okay, wait a minute.
He built a wood framed instead of the old stainless frames. He built an old school tank using no silicone.
Yeah.
It was
Did he
just like,
seal it?
Yeah, after he tried it without the sealant, and then he did, after he filled it and it held water, he then took it apart and sealed it, didn't he?
yeah, because he said that he didn't trust it either, so he was going to silicone it. So
Yeah.
he took it all back apart and redid it. But It worked, and all he used was plumber's putty. He
Yeah.
put the whole thing together with plumber's putty.
Ooh,
At first.
yeah, I wouldn't trust that.
Well, he only made like a 5-gallon one. He didn't make a 6-footer or an 8-footer.
That's yeah. Well, in a frame, I suppose it'd be okay. But yeah, that stuff still it doesn't stick very well.
No, and I wouldn't know how good it would stick to glass at all.
No.
Yeah, I use it for sealing up like venting and stuff like that before you silicone it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust it.
But I would never think of doing that and making 4 videos on it.
No.
I just don't.
Definitely.
I don't think that way. You got another question there, though, Blake?
Yeah. So it's an interesting one. I'm kind of at the Aquarium Society that I'm a part of, the Fish Club. We're starting up a new breeding kind of competition thing where we're just getting in some of the more difficult to breed species that we don't really find in Australia, and then we're kind of having an amazing race kind of thing to breed them. So I actually don't know what the species is that I'm going to be trying next, but it'll be some kind of tetra that we just don't get. One example, yeah. One example was wad-eye tetras, blueberry tetras that was on there, but I have already got those and bred them, so not that, but yeah, something around that sort of realm. We'll see. We'll see what the options are.
Blake's going to be breeding Bishers next.
I'd love to. I did try with my Senegals for a while, but see, I think my problem is that it's so cyclical when I can actually concentrate on it, and then something will come up with work or the family or whatever, and then I'll just be coming in and feeding only for a month, and then I'll get inspired again, and then kind of half start a bunch of projects. It's been a frustrating few years for me.
I work in HVAC, so I work a lot in the winter. So I end up losing batches because I don't get home in time to feed.
Yeah, it's hard kind of managing it all. But my fish room's definitely just been in a state of flux for a while. Yeah, I mean, my youngest is only 2.5, so I guess been in a state of flux for 2.5 years. But hopefully won't be much longer.
I watched that video here a while back with you and your son in it.
Yeah. He nearly came in here before. I was distracted before because he opened the door. He was going to come and jump on the screen. But usually he perches up here and watches something on the computer while I'm playing around. But you got to watch him because he'll get into everything.
Yeah.
He was throwing some pizza in to the tank and Yukon tank before yesterday. So
They needed some pepperoni, Dad.
But he's a good helper. They're all pretty good helpers.
My youngest was a good helper. She would go behind me after I'd wire something and cut all the wires.
Just thought you needed more practice.
Apparently, usually it was during a camping trip or like something like that. We were getting ready to leave, and I go back to double check the lighting and see all the wires cut.
No.
Yeah.
That's just quality control going in behind you, saying you didn't do a good enough job.
Yeah.
And when I had that 100 and some
tight at
tanks,
the time.
and my grandkids used to help me, I'd be doing a water change on one. They'd walk over and flip to the end of the hose into a different tank, so it was draining out of one tank into another. And then overflow the tank. Water change.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's on concrete floor.
I am-
The next expansion.
I am waiting for the day that I could have like maybe the 8-foot inside, but it's just too risky at the moment. I think I'd cop some sort of like Hot Wheels car wheel tracks along the front of it or something. Or
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that acrylic?
Ooh,
nah,
Is it?
nah, it's just glass.
yeah. That's
So if
heavy.
it's acrylic, yeah, you definitely see all the tracks on it.
Mm. Yeah, it's very rare to see an acrylic tank here in Australia. They're all glass.
Yeah, when my youngest daughter was a lot younger, she had some toy called magnetics, where it was a bunch of magnetic balls
Yeah.
stuck together.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was spinning it. One let loose and hit my 40 breeder salt tank and drained it
Oh,
while I was at work.
Ooh.
So I came home to a dead saltwater tank.
Yeah, that's an expensive one too.
It was a long-term tank too. It was really established.
yeah, it'd be like shooting a baby at it, I guess.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
They were about the size, a little bit bigger than a baby, weren't they, Jeff?
Yeah, more like a ball bearing size. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. Like whatchamacallit, wrist rocket slingshot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm probably still 5 or 6 years away from having a tank in the house, maybe.
Yeah. She's 21 now, so she gets to break somebody else's tank.
Yeah. Just to break her own tank.
Yeah. Or her kids get to break hers.
Yeah.
Does she have any tanks? As the hobby,
my middle daughter moved in with her, so now they have a tank together again. Because my middle daughter still had hers. At first, her boyfriend didn't want her to have a tank, but now that my middle daughter moved in with them, he wants to set up a tank too.
Nice.
He still
she
thinks that he
wanted
wants to
one.
do native fish, but yeah.
She wanted one and he didn't want one, so they compromised and got one.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
That's how those.
He wants to do he wants to do northern pike and bass, so he doesn't comprehend how fast they grow and how big they get.
Yeah, the pike especially. Oof.
Yeah.
That's definitely a Jeremy tank.
Yeah. I would love to have a tank for him, but
I've only got one kid with a tank, and he stole my blue bolts. He kept bugging me for a tank, and he was here because he's the one who lives in Iowa, and he's just like, I really want those. And I was like, well, if you'll get into the hobby, you can just take the tank and all with you. And he still got them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You gonna go see him when you're up that way?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll steal a dozen of them back from him and bring them back.
So that's your younger son?
Yeah, it's my youngest. My youngest is about your age.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty young. I'm only like 12, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't look a day over 10.
Thanks.
Judging by the beard growth, you look like about 10 or 12, yeah.
It's getting there.
One day, you might be able to grow a beard.
I'm still waiting.
Right?
I've given up on that pipe dream.
I think I'm 32 now.
When I was
33? I don't know.
I was
Same
at
age as me.
15. I could grow a better beard than my mom's boyfriend.
I've been shaving since I was 12.
I might have shaved 12 times. And I'm the same age.
In my life.
For Alex to try to fit in, he actually just took a mascara thing and colored in his beach fuzz.
Yeah, this is all paint. Painted it on. Dyed my mustache, you know.
Using that spirit gum and just sticking it on.
Yeah.
Zen, yeah, I have seen some goings on from Josh. I used to love his content, but he started his own business doing like tours of wineries and stuff like that, and now he's doing some content for like a barbecuing. He had a mate who was really big on Instagram for barbecue content, so now he's going along with them. So he's doing well. Yeah, but I do miss the old Aquamate channel.
Yeah, I miss his.
You
garage.
notice?
His
Yeah,
garage,
yeah,
his game, and everything in there.
yeah, with the big PlayStation thing and all that in there.
Yeah,
But-
that was
I mean, you notice that, don't you? Like, if you hang around long enough, channels come and channels go. That's just how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I used to watch you a ton, and you disappeared for a little while, and then you came back. What was it like coming back after being gone for a little bit?
Yeah, you mean this year? Like, because I took
Yeah.
November and December off, and that was mainly just to focus on like family and stuff, and I was just
Mhm.
busy, and it was great, honestly. Because in 5 years or so, I'd never taken a break off, including I did like daily videos for, I don't know, 7 months or something. Not good ones, but
That's
it was just so good. And then I was really nervous, like, oh, is YouTube gonna kick me off for being away? But actually, I came back and the next upload I did was like a 1 out of 10, which for anybody that makes content means like it
Mhm.
was the best for that time period of the last 10 uploads. So I was like, oh, okay, there's no backlash.
right.
Even like the revenue and stuff, it's not much. Certainly not enough to live on, but it didn't even drop that much. It dropped like 30%, something like that, considering that I made no videos within that whole month. So pretty
That's
good.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I run across a really old channel that hasn't made content for like 5 to 10 years,
Hmm.
and their channel's still growing.
Yeah, and it makes me interested. Like, obviously, I don't think I'd do it. I'd still always put a video up here and there, but it makes me. I'd really love to know the number of like, if I just stopped right today, what would it get to, and how long would it take to get to that point?
Yeah.
But YouTube's really good at training people to keep feeding the machine.
Hmm.
The longer they can keep you watching, the more they make.
Yeah. For me, it's really a battle too, because like I really love live streaming, but it doesn't really, like, in the long
revenue's not
term,
the same.
it's not very good. So I find it like way more enjoyable to live stream than to actually make videos. But then
Yeah.
I kind of think like, oh, I'd probably better spend that time doing something else than making videos at all. So it's like,
Like
I
Steven
don't
was saying,
really
he
know.
missed you streaming at his time, 4 a.m.
Yeah. I don't want to become a real YouTuber, so I'm going to stick to the live streams.
Yeah. And like I was just at the pet show on the weekend, like the old 4 a.m. streams. They were really fun though. I really enjoyed a lot of those. But yeah, I was just at the pet show and people were asking like, oh, you know, when can you quit your job? And I was, well, I couldn't even if I wanted to, but I don't think I'd want to anyway, because I like that. Because imagine if your entire ability to pay off your mortgage or whatever was based upon this magical algorithm that nobody really knows. It just seems like pretty
When
scary to
somebody
me.
buys
Constantly
YouTube and
changing.
closes it down.
Yeah. So I like that I could just pack it up, have a couple of months off, and then it's fun. It stays fun for me. And then other people are like, oh, would you open up a shop? And I'm like, no way. Nah, I like just that this is fun, and then the rest pays the bills, and that's it.
Yeah, I'd like to open a shop one day, but I'd like it to be my supplemental retirement income.
I think it'd be fun because you get access to like importing fish and stuff like that, and you could set up a shop that you'd always have wanted to visit. But then I think the downside of that is you never get to leave that shop that you've always wanted to visit it, and every day you have to answer like, can I buy this tank and this fish today and put them both together and it'll all work magical? Well, no, obviously that's not going to happen. Like, how many times do you want to explain cycling to people a day? And also, I think we've all been in shops where you watch the shopkeeper say, like, I was in a shop the other day. A lady had her kid there, and she said, oh, I want to get an axolotl. And then she bought like a tiny little desktop portrait tank that she wanted to put this axolotl in. And she wanted to buy them both at the time. And the worker said, you know, obviously this won't work. This is the tank that you need. And then I saw her 10 minutes later go to another one of the workers, buy the tank and buy the axolotl and walk out. Like, Imagine that. That would just
No.
it made me angry. But like, I'm just a random person. What am I going to do? So imagine that as a seeing that 10 times a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't have employees at that point because I'd probably only be open 2 or 3 days a week anyway.
Well, yeah.
It'd be a supplemental thing. So, but I've been there and I've seen it happen in other stores.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of customer service facing roles, isn't it? Right. Like when I was at uni, I worked at the golf course and I really loved it because the people were great. It was a private course. So there was only kind of the same 200 people over and over again. And I was just working in the bar. Like, it was good times. But, there's still always going to be times where people have differing opinions or come in with the wrong attitude and all those sorts of things. That's people, isn't it?
The store that I worked at as a teenager, they were my mentors, and they actually ran a decent business where they declined customers and refused to sell to them if they weren't, doing it what they felt was appropriate.
Yeah, see, my LFS will do that.
Yeah, that's good.
They had somebody in there the other day that was trying to buy a Betta and a 1 gallon tank. He's like, no, we need to, at least a minimum of say 3 gallon.
Yeah.
No, I want this 1 gallon. I think it'd be better. Yeah. He's like, no, I can't sell you that.
Why was he selling the 1 gallon tanks?
He don't now. They were leftover stock. So. They were leftover stock that he's had for a long time. Now when I went in today, I asked him, you get rid of the 1 gallon tanks? He said, yeah, they're storage in the back where they're going to stay.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sad thing is, right, is that the person going to the effort of having integrity and opening up a shop, then if they refuse the service, then they get a 1-star review on Google and they get reduced business. Or if they give the service, the person has a bad experience, they leave a 1-star review on Google. They get so you're doomed if you do and you're doomed if you don't. And I can see why people would say, well, at least I'll get a sale out of it, even if it's both ways are ending in a 1-star review.
He finally got him to understand, they needed more than 1 gallon. So
I like that though. I've seen more and more stores lately where you buy something and they're like, "Oh, well, what size tank do you have?" And it's also funny for me too, because you go to buy like that Platinum Senegal, and they're like, "Oh, what kind of tank? What's your aquarium look like?" And I was like, "Oh,
that's 10 gallon."
Yeah, I'll joke with them at first. I'll say it's a 2.5 gallon, whatever. But then I just pull out a picture of my fish room. Like, yeah, I've got all this stuff.
Oh, you Googled that.
Yeah, and there's really no excuse anymore, is there? There's that much hours and hours of content on the internet, or AI can tell you most things, or whatever. You don't even have to sift through Google results anymore. It'll give you whatever information you want, right in one sentence.
Right. 5 gallon bowl big enough for a bisher? Maybe a baby for a little bit.
I mean, I've got a baby in a breeder box for a little bit.
Yeah, breeder box.
Yeah, like even I had someone at work the other day. She wanted to ask me because she heard that I have fish, and she said, "Oh, I want to buy my son a fish bowl for his 5th birthday." And I was just like, do I even want to get into all of this? Because she's like, "Oh, I don't want to filter because, I don't want to spend money in this and that." It's like, you're just better off not. Like, it's not that expensive to get a filter or to get an actual size tank. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And people don't want to set it up and wait either,
Yeah. And then I was just flashing forward. I'm like, so in the next month, this person's going to say like, "Oh, my bowl's full of algae," or "Oh, my fish is dead," and I'm like, "Well, is that really my fault? Because I told you what to do and you didn't do it."
I want a refund.
Yeah. So I can only imagine that like tenfold if you actually had a shop where people knew where you were going to be.
Misinformation.
Hmm.
Well, guys, I say we call her good.
Yeah, it's been about an hour and a half.
I'm sure Blake's got stuff he needs to do.
Yeah, can't keep hiding out from the family all day in here.
Jeff's got cookies.
But, yep, you're not sharing, Jeff.
No.
He was trying to.
It's time for a snack.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll catch everybody next week. Blake, I want to thank you for coming up.
Thanks for having me.
Curtis, Jeff, Adam. We'll
Thank you for having us.
catch everybody next week.
See ya.